You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the show. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth.
When last we left you, we were
Thanksgiving.
We were obsessing over Star Wars during a national holiday.
Nothing has changed.
As we record now, we're obsessing over Star Wars during a national holiday. Cliff went on vacation.
That's right. I am back.
Back to or bust.
I am back on planet, guys.
The original hashtag, back
Yes.
to or bust, back when hashtags were cool.
So Cliff back to and we busted.
That's right. Yeah.
It's Christmas time.
It was Christmas time. It was Christmas time on Batu for me.
So your annual trip down there usually?
Might as well say so.
Not
Yeah.
always this time of year, right?
Right. Yeah, it's
Did they have any Life Day decorations?
they did not. And that's
Would
actually,
you know if you saw them?
I was looking for red hooded cloaks.
Oh, your whole family should have got like Snuggies and worn the Wookiee Snuggies.
Virtual reality machines.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed that episode, our little movie
our
commentary. If you enjoyed that, let us know something else we should do a commentary.
Maybe we'll have
for.
Lumpy come in for an episode.
That's right. Never know.
He's not canon.
He can space portal in. No, there weren't any Christmas Life Day decorations in Galaxy's Edge.
But there probably was everywhere else.
But there was everywhere else. That park actually does an amazing job. Hollywood Studios, it's the Hollywood that never was and never will be. That was always their tagline.
Real bright and happy.
Well,
Never was.
they have all these retro 1940s and 50s Christmas decorations everywhere. And they play old 40s and 50s Christmas music to go along with it. And it is amazing theming. I loved every bit of that. But the first thing we did was when we hit that park, second day we got there for first time at Hollywood Studios since Galaxy's Edge opened. We headed straight there. We arrived. Well, let me tell you how we arrived. Let's get into that a little bit. So our resort was wonderful, except for there was a little problem with transportation early in the morning. Park is set to open at 6 a.m. Okay, Hollywood Studios, special hours because of Star Wars. We get up at like 4:30 a.m. We've been late night into the park.
Yeah,
the
I
night
was
before.
messaging with you. You're like, I'm up.
Yeah.
Me too. Let's do it.
4:30 a.m. We were up, got ready, and we're gonna head over. I'd asked the night before about the brand new Skyline. They have a new gondola system, runs from Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort to Hollywood Studios. It's only about a 5-minute ride. It's awesome. It wasn't going to open until they said 6:45.
And from the video you shared, it looked already pretty crowded.
Exactly.
Before 6 a.m.
So we head out to the bus stop. Buses are not running. So I'm like, oh great. I checked the board at the stop. It says use Skyliner. So I'm like, well, maybe the Skyliner's open. So we start trucking to the Skyliner all the way across the resort. Immediately, people coming our way, waving their arms. It's not running. So I'm like, they all look at me like, what are we going to do? I was like, get in the truck. We're driving to the park. So we drove over to the park. It's only it can't be more than like 6-7 minutes from that resort. So we zipped on over to the park, parked really quickly, and as fast as we could, got up to the entrance into the park, where we were met by a massive crowd already there.
I bet.
So we get into the park. They let everybody up through Hollywood Boulevard there. into the park to not quite the Chinese theater. So we're all queued up there. Announcement comes overhead. Rise of the Resistance boarding groups will be available at 7:45 a.m. this morning. Because Rise of the Resistance had just opened 3 days prior at this point. And you had to get there first thing in the morning. On your My Disney Experience app, you had to join a boarding group. You were then put into a group, and then it would just go throughout the day. So it wasn't overcrowded. There wasn't a huge line, was the idea. And if something went wrong with the ride, it broke down or whatever, they don't have thousands of people in line.
That's a good...
Great idea. Great idea. Problem is, my wife checks the app at like 7:15 or so. It's already live.
And everybody else knows.
And everybody else knows it. So we get put into boarding group 61 was our number.
Wow.
So I'm like...
if you'd have been order 66.
Yeah. So at this point, we're like, I hope we get to ride it today, but there's no guarantee. We don't know how many groups they're going throughout the day, how many times it's going to break down, all that fun stuff. Okay. So what happens then as we're walking through, you may have watched my video on YouTube. I did put up a video. A lot of it's just me walking through the park and my head in the camera. We are immediately put in line for Smuggler's Run as you get into the land. The line for Smuggler's Run does not stop. It's 5:30 in the morning. Well, at this point, it's about a little after, just a few minutes after 6. All the way in the back of the park, the line does not stop. And they put you in the line. Your queue line goes through almost the entire Galaxy's Edge area. So, which is nice because even though we're walking and we're moving, we're able to see, a lot of stuff and be like, oh, there's that. Somewhere around 7 a.m., we finally get onto the Falcon ride, get through the queue. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
We less than an hour. We don't actually have to stop and stand or anything like that. Immediately, they did a wonderful thing with this land. Because you don't walk into the entrance and there's the Millennium Falcon and it just hits you in the face. It's slowly tucked in behind a certain area and it's kind of revealed to you very slowly, which is wonderful. It's like watching a movie. It's amazing.
I've no doubt.
Just awestruck. Like I did not know how to react to it. It's this thing you played with when you were 4 years old. And suddenly it's, everything you imagined is sitting right in front of you. It's just absolutely may have had a few rogue tears well up.
So is the scale of everything, is it as big as you thought it would be? Are the buildings as tall as you hoped? Is it all...
It's bigger than I thought it would be.
Really?
That was...
she said.
Yep. That was the main thing, was the scale of the buildings. You're looking up at everything. So which naturally makes it feel bigger too. You can't see it all standing in one spot. I love that about it. Because nothing has a real sign to it, any of the buildings or anything. So it's wonderful how you just kind of discover it. I love that about it. Now, I watched a lot of videos and kind of knew what things sort of look like. But I'll be honest with you. I went 3 times in the land. I did not really get the layout of the place down. Because there's so many different things happening all around you. So many different little doorways to kind of tuck into, or corners, or just...
Sounds like they've figured out a way to create the illusion of a bigger place.
Right.
By not having it clearly marked and things, so you're lost in this world,
And it didn't seem like, even like the trash cans thing. It wasn't a big... plastic trash
right.
There wasn't, I didn't see, at least the pictures you took, I didn't see anything that really broke the illusion.
Nothing at all, other than us, the guest, walking around in t-shirts and shorts.
People.
Right. And of course, you have your photo pass photographers out there taking pictures. Stuff you would expect. But the walk around characters are are all that and more. It's something I'd never really experienced that way. If you go to Disneyland, you get to experience walk around characters. You know, Winnie the Pooh's out kind of wandering around every now and again. They don't have somebody really, a wrangler with them to kind of shoo you off or any of that stuff. They're just out there. You look over to, he's under the Falcon, kind of messing around with something. We were taking some pictures and in front of some speeder bikes at night with the lightsabers and stuff. And then I turn around and Ray just walks right up to me. And we have a whole conversation, you know, a total in-character conversation.
Who are you?
And then, but the feel of it,
we're gonna have to know what happened in this conversation. Ray, do you like Star Wars?
Yeah. you remember
how do you get your hair to do that thing?
You remember when you fought Kylo Ren? That was awesome. But I'm not very good at conversing in that way either. Like, no matter what, like, even if if it's like Captain Hook or something, I'm always kind of like, never know what to say.
Right.
You know, it's nervous. So odd.
Yeah.
But then I turn around and she's standing right here, and then she starts asking. She wants to see the lightsabers and asking about them. Wants to know why my daughter chose a red crystal, and I was like, "This is awesome."
That's like just a side thing you're saying about that. That there's that new Adam Sandler movie, Uncut Gems or whatever. I really want to see, but they had a thing today. They posted like from their Twitter account some like, hey, call this number, you know, because he's supposed to be like selling crap or whatever, you know, these gems, and call this number. Yeah, it's just like an advertisement for the movie, and like, oh, this one guy I follow called it, and Adam Sandler answered the phone and was acting like that character, and like the guy played along with him, was like, hey, I want one of them Furbies, them Jim Furbies. He's like, okay, and then they go through like this minute-long conversation, and then they posted that conversation to their thing, and he's like, I told you that it was Adam Sandler. Like, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah, I love that interaction. So we saw, like, I have a video, and I'll at some point it'll go up on something. But I have a video of stormtroopers these two stormtroopers walking through the land that just had been with Kylo Ren. And as they're walking by, you hear one stormtrooper say, "Puffer pig."
Puffer pigs. Just like to say it.
And I'm like, what? And then he takes a few steps, and you hear him go, "Just like to say it." It just keeps on going. I was like, okay, that was awesome. But yes, that stuff was wonderful. The look, the feel, everything it was better than I expected it to be. And I had pretty high expectations. So I wasn't let down with that at all.
No, I remember us talking about how the things you do follow you throughout your stay. How was that?
So we get up there, we get up to the Falcon, we do the Falcon, right? I'm right side pilot, of course. There wasn't going to be any other choice for anybody else. I'm going to be the right side pilot.
And Carly got that.
Yeah, she was up.
It was
in
cute
front.
in the video because you could see her give it to you.
Yeah,
and her say, "I want to be the gunner" or whatever. Total horse. But
yeah,
I was like, "What a sweetheart!" And then when you hold up the ticket and she's in the background and grinning because she knows she got to do that for you was really awesome.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, so we do the ride. First of all, you've been on Star Tours before.
Yeah.
I used to ride it all the time as a kid. As I've gotten older, it makes me sick.
Okay.
That screen and simulator combination makes me sick. I get motion sick sometimes. That does it in a heartbeat.
Right.
That's exactly what this was.
Yeah.
It was fun as hell. I loved it. I had a great experience with it. Had no idea what I was doing. Neither of us did.
Right.
First time on it. But 3/4 of the way through it, I'm like, ugh.
Oh no, I'll never be a pilot.
Yeah, this is not working out the way I expected. So
yeah, if they gotta call the squeegee guy in to wipe the windows down, everyone's gonna give you dirty looks.
Sir, if I may venture an opinion.
I'm not really interested in your opinion, 3PO.
Something out there.
Where?
Outside in the cave.
Yeah. Yeah, those aren't my knocks on the on the front glass. But yeah, it does keep score. Hondo gives you a little score there at the end for each position. But as far as it really tracking with you, I don't know that that's going to happen now, or if it does, it's going to be down the road a bit.
Yeah.
Several things have been dropped since the original concept stuff, which is disappointing, but yet in the moment you don't really think about it.
I think a lot of the problem is some of the stuff that they thought they were going to do, and then they didn't have the turnout that they thought they were going to have because of the decisions they made, and now they're having to cut staff and things, and they're not going to do as much as they thought.
And what's happening too is with the new ride opening, because now the land is quote unquote dink dink complete.
Right.
The crowds are there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
By mid-morning, it's crowded, and it feels crowded, and there is no way you could have droids out there rolling around with that type of crowd. Yeah. Not with that type of crowd.
Yeah. I watched where somebody was down there for the press thing a couple days before it opened, before Rise opened, and it was like they had a lot more of the actors. They were doing all the stuff and things, and they were like, and the guy was just like, "This is great, but it shouldn't just be for the press."
And that's true.
He's like, "This is this." He's like, because he's lived in California. He was just saying, like,
Yeah.
"I've been to both places, and when they do this stuff, it's great, and this is how it should be all the time."
The media day that they did for the original opening of Disneyland Park, and then Rise of the Resistance down here, they do special. They've got Rey and Kylo fighting lightsabers, and they had a show in California that they did one time, and it was awesome. It was a battle show. And then with Rise, when they did it, they had the drone X-Wing fighters raise up above and take off.
Yeah.
Looked awesome.
Yeah.
They're the size of cars, these drones they made, but they're for one day. How can you justify that?
Yeah.
So
it's like that's what we thought we were getting for the park. What it was just going to be. That was originally how it came across, but now it doesn't seem like they're going that far.
So we get up there, we do Smuggler's Run. Unfortunately, like by the time we get to the end of the Falcon, and like there's tons of people in there. There's the holo chess table.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And all that, and I'm go right for it. I sit down, snap a picture of myself, and they call my boarding group. And I'm like,
didn't get to play around in
no. I was like, really? You're being too efficient here, Disney.
Yeah.
I need some time here.
I need you to clear out this room.
Right.
I'm going to need the room.
And could you send Chewbacca in?
I want to kiss him over here in this kissing spot.
So we get in, we do the Falcon. It's, you can watch the video and all that. Get off of it. Great time. Like I said, by this time it's like a little after 7 in the morning. So we have tons of time.
Yeah.
We kind of walked around for just a few minutes. Girls had to go to the restroom. In that time, a couple things happened. I tell Cooper, I said, there's the milk stand.
Oh, yeah.
I walk up there. It's a little after 7 a.m. I said, I want a blue and a green.
Line them up.
The cast member says, do you want alcohol in those?
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm the first one there. No one else has been to the milk stand yet.
Give me the square cups. Let's do this.
I was like, not at 7 a.m., honey. She goes, okay, no problem. Pours them out. So we take them over to the kind of open area. There's very few people around. Wait on the girls to come back. And while we're waiting, we're just kind of standing there and looking around. And this guy, rather fine gentleman, walks up. And he asks Cooper, he says, hey, can you take my picture real quick? Cooper's like, yeah, sure. He hands him his phone. He gets, he whips this lightsaber off of like his belt.
Yeah.
And he's like, he holds it up, and kind of poses. And Cooper takes couple
It
shots.
was a trick, and he kills him.
No, Cooper takes a couple shots on the guy's cell phone. Immediately, the guy he jumps over into like another pose, and Cooper's like, he looks at me, and I'm like, I don't know. So he puts the phone up there real quick, starts snapping more pictures, and the guy's just doing like a pose off the whole time.
That's hilarious.
And Cooper looks at me like, what the hell? And I'm over there just laughing. And the guy puts his saber back down away, and I don't remember exactly what he said because I was kind of laughing through it because my son is in such shock by what's happening right now. He's not used to that. Yeah. And the guy says something about, oh, you got to watch out for those stormtroopers over there. He goes, don't worry about it. I'm a Jedi. They don't like to come around me or something like that. And I look at my son, and he's just grinning ear to ear, just like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? He's got a scarf on. It was a whole
Super
thing.
into it.
So we tried the milk.
He got into the milk he got into the hard milk.
He was in the square cups is what it was. Yeah. So
let everybody know, blue or green?
Blue. All the way.
Really? See,
all
I think the
way.
green looks better.
No.
But what do I know?
The green had
yeah, what do they taste like?
Oh, yeah. I thought he was coming with us the rest of the day. All right, who wants to try it first?
Oh, it smells funky. Oh. Just try it. Gross. It smells like medicine. It's pretty good. It's good.
That's good. Thanks, Bigger.
Is it very tasty? I don't know. Second drink is
Carly?
weird. Tastes like lemon.
Yours is lemon.
Alright.
Try it again. Let your mom try it. Ready?
It's chocolate. Lemon lime.
Blueberry.
Yeah, that's not lemon. That's lemon. It kind of tastes like probably crawling. I didn't think I'd like it.
Here, I'm gonna do this. I don't like that.
Oh, I have tried them. They taste like lemon. Oh.
You don't like that.
Okay, I need to get into that.
Not
really, they taste like milk at all.
No.
Good.
No.
Good,
they're one is kind of floral, one is a little bit more fruity. The green, we all thought had an aftertaste to it. That's what we mainly didn't like about it.
Oh, okay.
The blue was a lot smoother. The blue was fine. I took one drink of the green, and I was like, I don't want that.
It's better straight from the source.
Right. That may have been the problem.
Yeah, you haven't tried it like that.
So we do the milk, and then we just we wander around for a little bit, run through some of the shops there for a while, go to like the toy maker shop.
Yeah,
it was great. Everything is awesome.
What'd you buy? Did you buy any knickknacks or anything?
Not well. I bought something.
Something.
And I bought it in this little bag here.
Ah, a little bag.
Because I did not want to come empty-handed. And it being Christmas, I had to bring you guys a little something.
Oh! Han's dice!
So we got Han Solo's Millennium Falcon dice here.
Chance dice or whatever.
Hang
yeah.
those on your Star Speeder.
Man. Thanks a lot. That was awesome.
So I did come back with those.
Those are heavy.
Yeah. Everything there, nothing felt cheap.
Yeah.
Everything had weight to it. Everything looked very handmade. One of those two things. Everything that I kind of felt or touched or looked at. So, we went through a bunch. Yeah, we went through a bunch of the shops. Doc Ondar's is great. There's so much to look at. Of course, he's over there in the corner working, the hammerhead and all that. So, then we went by 11, around a little bit before 11. We went ahead and went over to Savi's, did the lightsaber build. You can watch the video on our YouTube page.
Right.
From that,
you guys had 4 lightsabers. Man.
4 lightsabers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And what color did you get?
So I chose green, a green blade, or a green crystal, kyber crystal. You choose your kyber crystal, and that indicates what color your lightsaber is.
Now, did you get the? Isn't there a thing that you put it into to tell you who it is or something?
The holocron.
Yeah,
I did not buy a holocron. They run about $49.99 for the holocron itself.
I mean, if you got 4 friggin' lightsabers,
Well, that's-
pays for itself.
Yeah.
Come on.
so
Someday,
yeah,
and you'll find out. You got to find out, and then you like put it in there, and it'll either be like Qui-Gon or Yoda or
Yeah.
whoever, depending.
You got to leave a little something.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that
you
stuff.
got. I mean, yeah, I get it. There's stuff to do next time.
So so I got the green. My son had a blue crystal. His girlfriend did the purple, and my daughter did the red. Okay, so we kind of got one of each color available there.
Now, did they put it anywhere as much thought into it as you did?
You know,
Because I'm sure you agonized.
I
them.
did a little bit. I did a little bit.
You said they had yellow. They had.
You could buy it with like the holocron.
Oh, okay.
You could get yellow. There's a black crystal. There are different versions of green, blue, red, whatever. But yeah, and there's a white one. The white's the other color. You can get a white.
white.
Yeah,
That's
like
weird.
Ahsoka.
Huh.
So we.
Well, I want to say,
Okay.
first off, you brought these over tonight, and it does not come across in the videos I've watched or anything, but like now holding one, and, it is way higher quality than I was expecting.
They're pretty
Very heavy, real feeling,
awesome. No plasticky.
it is
Yeah.
such high quality. I would not hesitate a second to do this.
An elegant weapon.
It
Not as clumsy as a blaster.
right. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome experience. It runs about 15 minutes, 14 people at a time.
At $800 and some dollars, that
Yeah,
comes
when you
to
do-
how much a second?
Yeah. Yeah,
Worth
when you,
every penny.
when you do 4 of them, let me tell you, you're gonna have a little sticker shock there.
Oh, it's gonna get expensive. A moose at the front should have told you.
So we did the Savi's his workshop. They call it scrap metal. If you're asking, because it's kind of hard to find. It's kind of tucked in back into a corner. There's no sign. Just some umbrellas out front. A few gathered people there. I had to ask. I couldn't find it. I was like, "Could you?" And I had to ask one of these citizens where to find some scrap for sale.
Yeah. See, that's cool.
So the first order, the stormtroopers don't hear and all that.
Right.
So we went and we did that. It was great. Then we went over, and because we were getting hungry, it was about lunchtime. We decided Docking Bay 7 because they had a bigger menu. Okay.
So not Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Right. We didn't go to Kenny Ronto's Roasters.
That's what I was hoping you were going to pull out that bag.
I've been keeping this Ronto dog for you in here.
Yeah. So we went to Docking Bay 7 instead. We did walk through Kenny Ronto's.
So what's there? What's a docking?
So this is where they have like the Endorian tip yip.
what?
Okay. The chicken.
Okay.
Okay. And you can get it with like macaroni and cheese or like a vegetable potato mash type thing. It was very good. My son got the ribs and some kind of purple thing that I don't know what it was, but they said was okay, but not great. But the tip yip was good. We enjoyed that, and it was pretty neat. I tell you, one of the coolest things I did not expect. The freaking doors open like Star Wars doors.
Oh,
How simple, but yet
Yes.
good.
Like, you want to talk about...
you mean they go?
Yeah.
Just like,
I mean, you're standing there and that thing just... And I'm like... At first I was like, that is so cool. And it's so silly. They say Disney is in the details, but it really is in the details in this land. Something that simple. Every time I went through it, I just kind of lit up. I was just kind of giddy, like, this is so cool. Star Wars doors. So we went and we did that. We ate. They have an outdoor section you can eat at. We did that. Enjoyed it. It was very good. not a lot to say about it. I mean, it was
it's good.
Yeah, it was fine. Then I think that was pretty much it.
So now it's 8:00.
So we went. I was like, well, let's go do some stuff in the rest of the park. We had some fast passes for the rest of the day in other areas. So at 4:30, approximately 4:30 in the afternoon, check the app. They call my boarding group for Rise of the Resistance. Mm-hmm. I'm ecstatic.
Right.
One problem. I have my sit-down dinner scheduled for 4:55 p.m.
Oh, man. Where at? Where's that supposed to be?
50's prime time.
Oh, yeah? I've been there.
Remember, we've ate there before.
Yeah.
Ended up sitting at the same table we did 10 years ago.
Yeah. Something funny happened there. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
They wanted just to take the order of the next table.
And there were some Asian...
I know what it was. The lady gave me the pad, and there were Asian people, and she said, "You take their order," and I said, "Okay." And then she comes back and she said, "What do they want?" I said, "Chinese food."
You wrote Chinese food on the
I wrote
pad.
it down the pad, gave it back to her,
and then the woman, she not thinking, our waitress looks at it and she goes, "Chinese food." And we're all like, please don't look at us. Yeah, so we ended up sitting at the same table. But so I was like, well, let me go ask some questions. Let's find out. So I go up to check in because you have to check in. I said, they just called my boarding group, but I have reservations. And the guy says, well, you have 2 hours from when they call your boarding group to check in.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm like, my wife's like, okay, great. And I'm like, no
way. We're not risking that.
We're here.
We're going hungry.
Not for 50's prime time.
Right, exactly. So
if we got to eat Yip Yip again, we're doing it.
That's right. So I get in, and they point us into line, over to the Resistance Forest, and because we hadn't been in that part yet. We get over to Resistance Forest and right into the queue area. And it's a cave, looks like a cave,
right?
Going into like a mountain or whatever. Laser cut cave where the rebels have dug into it and made their base, right? So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just little narrow hallways. There are like metal things holding up the ceiling and that type of stuff. So we get halfway through the line. Line stops.
Right.
Here come the cast members. They've got the water bottles. They're just boxes of them. They're giving anybody need water, chips. Anybody want any chips?
Yeah. And
I'm like, oh, this is not good. Not good.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. Something's wrong. So ends up we get free waters, which we got the bottles with the Arabish writing on it.
Going for you.
Got that going. Chips, popcorn, fruit, more water. Over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Did not move.
I heard a lot of the problem with that is because they use it's like a wireless system and things, and because everybody's phones are searching for Wi-Fi, it is interrupting.
Messes with it. So, during this time, I go find a cast member and say, hey, I got dining reservations. I'm missing them right now. I don't want to get, because if I don't show up, I'm going to get charged $50. He says, okay, where's your reservation at? I told him. Okay, how many? What's the name? Let him know. He goes, okay, gets his cell phone out, texts, calls it. He says, don't worry about it, take care of it. Comes back, finds me a little bit later. He goes, don't worry about it, it's all taken care of. I called the restaurant. You can show up whenever you're done here. They'll seat you immediately. Don't worry about it. You're not going to be charged. Everything's good.
That's awesome.
No, I'm here. I'm hoping somebody on a bike like drives the indoor to deliver your food to you in line.
That's.
I
good.
guess that's okay.
That's absolutely what they should do.
Yeah,
they've because of the ride problem and things. Yeah, they should absolutely take care of that.
Absolutely,
that's great.
Wasn't a problem anyway. So finally, line starts back up after a couple hours or so. We get to the end of the cave, which I think is the end of the line, and we are outside.
All right.
Now, do you know anything about this ride?
Nope.
Okay. Are you okay if I spoil something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here we are. We're standing outside. There's a starship, whatever, spaceship, whatever you want to call it, sitting in front of me. Blue and gray. I have not watched anything as far as footage of the people have rode this already because I don't want to know.
Right.
So we're kind of standing there. All of a sudden, people start yelling at us.
Right.
And I'm like, what is happening? So they're like, come on, come on. The thing opens up. They're shoving everybody on board it. It's a big ship. I walk in. There's a Mon Calamari figure. And Nine Numb is in front of him, piloting the ship.
Right.
And they're talking to us. Poe's up on the screen. He's in the X-Wing company. We're off to meet Leia on a secret hidden base. We're all new recruits. That's the deal. Okay, I skipped over a part.
There's catching.
There's a hologram of Rey that explains all this to you. BB-8 comes out, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Rey, I know her.
Right.
Yeah. Oh! I was just talking to her. She didn't say anything about this.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how did you get up there? You were just over there. So cool. We're on the spaceship, and they're talking to us. The thing, we're all standing up, and you just kind of stand wherever. It takes off, and there are windows. You can see us taking off into space. We're going to the secret rebel base, and of course, the First Order shows up. Battle ensues. You can see ships, and it looks very, very real.
Right.
There's all this fighting. You're like, and it's happening. You can see out the back window. I can see my pilot and the Mon Calamari commander, whatever, Peck or Beck or whatever his name is. And there's so much happening, and you can just
imagine. He's like,
it really was, and you can feel the ship moving.
Yeah.
While this happens,
like, oh crap, here we go again.
So I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, please, no puking.
Mop guy.
So we get tractor beamed into a starship. We're captured. The door opens up. First Order standing right there. They immediately start yelling at us. You walk out of our ship.
It's my first day as a rebel.
You walk out and you are...
It's embarrassing. You were supposed to save us.
You're
on the chosen one.
The Star Destroyer. And this is the biggest room I've ever seen on a ride.
You're in a hangar.
You're in a hangar.
You're right. You're like...
Yeah. You can see, like, space.
Yeah.
You like
just a handful of people.
Right.
It's not like 15 other...
No. There's a group. There might be 30 people in there.
Yeah.
Okay? There's 50 stormtroopers in front of us. Stormtroopers over here. People... There are First Order officers yelling at you and standing, and there's, a lot happening. It just kind of happens. You're just in shock at first.
Now, yeah, from what I've seen there, I mean, just the scope of it, to be like, you've seen in all these movies, the hangars, and like to actually be there, and there's TIE fighters,
yes,
and things. There's just like,
and I mean,
it would be overwhelming.
I walk out the door and I turn around and look, and there's the freaking ship that I just got on.
Right.
It looks exactly the same as when I boarded it.
Yeah.
Outside on the ground on the planet.
And I think you got out the same door you went in.
It rotates.
Yeah, there's like some. It's one thing traditionally with those kind of rides, you go in one door and you go out another door. But they've been doing this thing where you start going in one door and you come out the same door, but you're somewhere else. That's pretty freaking cool.
It's amazing. So, like, it takes your breath away a little bit.
Now, I was going to ask, because some of the things I'll see are from media day type things, but I got the impression, like, you don't have to, like, immediately go on with your group.
Here's what happened to us.
Because people were it's such a photo op to hang out in there.
But what happened with us was Alicia and I are standing there, and we're just kind of like in awe, looking around, and like, oh, holy crap! Because there are cast members yelling from the First Order at the group to like move along. And they're ushering you in. My kids, we get separated.
Yeah,
my kids are way up here in the front of the group, and we're way in the back.
Right.
And I have video footage. I'm like, I've lost I don't know where my kids are. Like, I've lost my kids, but I don't care because all Star Wars is happening right now.
First order now.
Yeah.
Small price to pay for the
So they take us into out of the hangar into another like hallway, line us up, and like people are like getting interrogated.
Yeah.
And my kids, the kids are up there. They're getting yelled at because they're trying to wait on us, and they're telling them to hurry up, and it's all very lifelike.
Right.
So we meet back up. We get put in line. They're like in some people's face or whatever. It's all happens all very, very quickly. They lead you into a room that looks like this when you walk into it. There's no doors, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's triangle shaped.
Yeah.
And so we all in there, and they're like, okay, you're in your cell for holding, and just shut the door. And you're just in a dark room. You look up, and it's grated, but then you see Kylo Ren, or you see stormtroopers. Here comes Kylo Ren, General Hux. They have a conversation. They're like, oh, we're going to get the information from you, all that stuff.
You're like, I don't know anything.
As soon as that happens,
you were talking to Ray. We saw you.
As soon as this happens, part of the wall is being cut open.
Yeah.
Like you see orange as it's happening. I don't know how they did it.
It's a projection.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it looks real.
But it looks cool.
He didn't want to know that.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Well,
Eventually,
he does.
Yeah.
But it does. It looks awesome.
Yeah. So, and it's not a straight line. It's all jaggedy and it looks
Right.
red hot. And then the thing is pulled back and set aside. And there's more resistance people. They're breaking you out. So from there, you go in, you board your trackless ride vehicle you were talking about. Has a droid in the front. Finn's talks to you a little bit about, we're going to get you out of here, that type of stuff. Talks to the droid. Jordan is away. They're programmed to take you to wherever you need to go to escape. Then it gets wild.
That's when Jen started going crazy.
There are about...
I was going to ask now, because I don't know. You guys had already done your lightsaber stuff. Are you having to lug these around all through this?
No, we
What do you do?
we took ours back to the room in the afternoon,
okay.
and then came back.
I got you.
But people were doing that.
Okay.
These things are each one. They're not on a track. They're not on a train. So each one goes in a different direction, and they take off all over the place. And you're in like groups of maybe 12 people, maybe 8 or 12 people in your vehicle.
I saw they sell those as a toy in the shop.
Yeah.
That vehicle. That's pretty cool. Like, yeah.
So you're racing through the Star Destroyer. Stormtroopers are firing at you. Explosions all over.
So
you see them hitting.
You're fine. They're not going to hit you.
Right. Because they're stormtroopers. You run under the AT-ATs. The AT-ATs that fire at you. You get into a turbo lift you don't know it. And then it shoots you up to the second floor of the ride. And then you come out of it and you're running through. Coolest thing, I don't want to say my favorite. One of my favorite things about this ride. Turbo lasers. Big.
Sounds cool.
Humongous, like you see on the movie.
Wasn't he an American Gladiator?
Yeah, actually,
it was turbo and laser. But these things, these giant cannons come out, and they are like they would fire. They would come up, fire. You would see them fire, and then they would push back from the force. And as they're doing that, you're running in between them.
Between them? Are you crazy?
It was wild.
Wow stuff.
So we run through that. You run into Kylo again. The lightsaber comes in through the top. Eventually,
describe that because
Okay.
that looked really cool to me. You're like in an elevator, right?
Yeah, and he's above you, and then you take off, and you just see the
lightsaber comes through the ceiling and starts cutting a hole.
Yeah,
and it looks freaking cool.
Now the commercial embellishes.
It doesn't look as realistic,
cool, but it looks good enough.
Yeah,
let me tell you. For that few seconds you see it, you're like, holy, Right. You end up in you find the escape pods. You're loaded up into the escape pods.
This is cool. Because
you don't know what's happening. Again, you can see in front of you, you're like about to take off or whatever, or you see it drops.
All of the escape pods are going to the edge of the ship you're in.
Yeah.
And you're looking out into space, and you can see across the way other escape pods coming, and they're dropping.
Yeah.
They're dropping away, but you haven't yet, so you're anticipating that. And that would just like
it's a moment.
be awesome. And then all of a sudden, here we're dropping.
Right.
That's very
it's a
cool.
moment. And then you find your way back to Batu, where you started everything. Everybody's crashed. Your vehicle exit the...
we crashed into the gift shop. What are the odds?
Again!
Your vehicle exits the escape pod. You come around back outside. You see the Mon Calamari again in his escape pod.
Yeah.
And he's talking to you, and then you park and you're off the ride.
Now,
whole thing's about 17, 18 minutes?
Yeah. One guy I saw do it. It was pretty cool because when he went in, it was daylight, and when they came out, it was night. If you just one of those lucky timing things, it would just be so surreal.
And the simulation changes if it's dark outside, like it was with us. When you take out everything on the screen, it's nighttime. It's dark out. In the daytime, it's daytime on the screen. So there's no You don't lose the realism of it. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So then, like, there was a gift shop or whatever right at the end, or anything,
no, there was not. Which is a very un-Disney like thing.
Right.
Yeah, you do not come out into gift shops. You're just right back into the land. It's
that's very cool.
We have spent almost an hour talking about Galaxy's Edge, but it, like I said, man, it is so cool.
Well, if you're going to write it off as a business expense for your bustling podcast empire.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only other thing, because we went 3 times in the land.
This is the first day. It was there for a week. 7 more hours.
The only other thing I want to mention real quick was another day we went to Oga's. I had made reservation for Oga's Cantina.
Right.
And it was pretty neat.
What'd you get to drink?
Because I asked our waiter, standing room only. Even at the bar, it's standing room, no bar stools or anything, and you can only be in there for 45 minutes.
Right.
I asked him. He goes, "You got to get the fuzzy tauntaun," which is the one thing I said I'm not getting.
Why?
Because they said it makes it's the foam.
Oh yeah. I
makes
heard
your
that
lips
numbs you.
Yeah, it's supposed to make your lips numb. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want that.
Doesn't sound great.
No,
to me, but yeah.
But I was like, no. He goes, "Trust me, get it." I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
So I got the fuzzy tauntaun. It didn't make my lips numb, but they felt like they were vibrating.
That's weird.
It was the weirdest thing.
It surrounded me, penetrated me, binded me together.
The drink was good.
Yeah.
But it was very, very strange. Yeah. It was a strange experience. I don't know how else to describe the feeling.
Did you guys get any like commemorative poured cups or anything? Or
no, Carly wanted
cups.
Carly wanted the porg one.
Yeah.
And but the drink was like $45.
Right. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And I was like, nah.
I saw there were some pretty cool cups. So then there's the Rancor Teeth plate of beers, $75. You can take
85.
Oh, now it's 85. They're raising the prices on you.
Yeah.
I hope you realize that. By the time we go, Jordan, we're wow. That's pretty cool. But they're playing there's a whole playlist of Cantina songs.
And the
bartenders, there long enough to hear. I assume in that 45 minutes. At some point, they play the original.
Yes, yeah. But the bartenders are great. They are having a blast. They sing along with the song.
Right.
In whatever language that is, they know it.
You had to Hector B. Arthur to sing along.
Yeah.
But they're singing along, and the whole crowd is chanting and clapping along. It was fun. Just a fun experience. Don't worry about. You can take your kids in there. And not have to worry about anything because nobody's really there long enough to really, overdo it.
You only have 2 drinks. So.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. And that's probably as many as most people can afford.
Right.
So, yeah, I had a nice little bill from there too. But it was a really good experience. I loved everything about it. I can't recommend it enough. Now that the land itself is complete, both rides are open. All the shops are, free to come and go as you want. 2 places to eat. You got the milk stand. There's the popcorn I didn't even try. After I'd been there 3 times and not even realized we never went into the droid depot.
Oh, really?
Like, I walked by it. I couldn't tell you how many times, but we just never made it in there. So the other thing I will say, the second time we went back at night. Took our lightsabers with us. I was telling you guys I was like, I want photos.
Yeah.
So went over to the Falcon. There was a line with a PhotoPass photographer working. And he was kind of off to the side and away from the Falcon a little bit. So we're standing in line and I'm looking and I'm like, what's that guy doing way over there? Right in front of the Falcon, nobody around him. He's just hanging out. So I was like, come on. So we go down there. I'm like, are you taking photos? He's like, yeah, sure. Come on. I was like, okay. He's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know.
I want to stand on top of that.
Right. So he starts putting everybody in poses with the sabers, and we're taking family pictures and some individuals and all that. We do this for a while. At one point, my wife and I are up there with doing just a picture, just 2 of us, and the photographer says, whoa, wait a minute. We gotta stop here. And I'm like, what? He's like, these 3 over here. And I look over and my kids are over having a lightsaber battle under the Falcon.
Right.
Just on their own. But they're in the back of our picture. So, all said and done, we met another guy that came in behind us. He had the dual Darth Maul double blade.
Now, that had to be...
He had to buy 2 plus the connector.
Cool.
$450.
That's cool. I would want it. Bad enough, but that's cool that somebody is that ridiculous.
Yeah. So, and our photographer was like, he's like, hey, you want to take some with this guy? And I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, yeah, we'll like, set up some fights or whatever. So we took a bunch with him. By the time we're done, there is a huge line for our photographer because we are all having a blast and he's having fun with it. And so we did that. That was a great experience. And then, yeah, that's, probably pretty much covers most of it.
Did you, what was it? Wasn't there like a pet shop or something type fake,
Yes.
Like, was that where the Sarlacc was and stuff?
Well, the first thing you see is the Loth cat. He's in a little cage from Rebels.
Yeah.
And he's asleep and he's got a little toy. And like my daughter was like, oh my God, I want that. Immediately. She's like, I want that. That needs to come home with us. So that's in there. There's throughout the land. There's a baby Sarlacc. There's a insert drop. There are several other creatures that are kind of in like a aquarium type thing or a cage in different shops that do different things, move around a little differently. Of course, you get the trash compactor monster at the water fountain. Found that. Got to see that. It was very, very cute to watch little kids just kind of staying there, and they're over there hitting the button on the water fountain, trying to make it come out over and over. Right. So, yeah, just so much to see. I went there 3 times. Did not get to see it all. Did not get to do it all. So totally worth it. Don't worry about the price of admission. If you think, is this really going to be worth over $100 a ticket for me to go in here and experience this? Yes, it is.
And things from every era of Star Wars, every iteration of Star Wars, or is it still pretty narrowly focused?
The land itself is set in between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. That is the time frame you are in.
Right.
But there are references to Yoda, Leia, prequel or OT stuff everywhere. There is merchandise. You can buy Yoda's cane.
Yeah.
You can buy the little flashlight Luke has on Dagobah that Yoda steals. You can buy an Imperial communicator like they have on the desk or on the.
But no Baby Yodas yet, right?
No Baby Yodas yet.
Right.
They had a magic band and a phone case you could buy. But they had all kinds of plush toys to do. And like you were saying, you can buy, they have Rathtars, they have Lothcats, they have Tauntauns.
Salacious
Crumb. A lot.
Yeah.
Enough to keep you entertained.
So heck yeah, you got plenty left to do and get, and you can make a droid next time or something.
That's right. That's right. So save some for the second visit, or the third, or the fourth, or whatever.
I really want to go make a lightsaber now. That's pretty awesome.
That was a highlight. Definitely was a highlight. A great experience, just overall. But if you're willing to spend a little money to do stuff like that, it really, you feel encompassed into the universe.
Really drenched in it. That's pretty cool.
And you could see it every photo and video you took. You just you could tell you're having the time of your life.
So. Oh, I have more.
Yeah. It felt very authentic. It made me happy how much fun you were having.
And that's
what I said. Before you got here, I was like, I watched several people make lightsabers on there, but there's only one person I wanted to see make a lightsaber.
Yeah. But to be able to do that with my kids the way we did, and for them to enjoy it so much, they were pumped to do that. That was one thing they were really excited about. And it's silly, and we laugh about how much thought we put into the colors or watching videos, see what kind of combos we want to make. But that's what makes it fun. When you have it and you're done and it's satisfying, like you really feel, you're part of that world down there. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, go to Galaxy's Edge. I don't have much else more to say about it at this point.
Definitely stay tuned to our Facebook page and YouTube channel. He has shared quite a bit with more to come.
Yeah, hopefully at least one more video. I do have it's kind of similar to the Millennium Falcon video I put up. I didn't want to spoil Rise of the Resistance completely for everybody, and I had that thought in mind. So the way I filmed it was basically you're seeing my reaction to it. Okay? So it's my face. You see stuff in the background.
This is just the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey. You just get his face and the light shining on him.
Yeah. But if you want to see what it's like to ride the ride, one of those ride along videos, there are tons of them out there on YouTube. You can do that. I was well aware that is easily found.
Yeah.
So for us trying to do something different, I thought I'm going to film myself as best I can, because it's hard to hold that thing in front of your face, and I'm looking everywhere.
Right.
I'm looking around, and as I'm doing it, I'm naturally moving my phone around, and the stick I've got it on. So it's a little rough.
And that's what I was hoping you didn't sacrifice your own enjoyment trying to. I've got to capture everything for everyone else.
Yeah,
you were at least you were present.
Yes.
And not thinking about.
It was a clear thought of, hey, I'm gonna try and get some stuff. Whatever I get.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the most important thing happening right now. So, and plus, I wanted a little bit of just record of us being there that first time, and the kids, and all that stuff you do as a family. So
people love reaction videos.
Apparently, that's what I hear. So yeah, that'll be coming out sometime down the road. Hopefully soon.
Sounds good.
Very cool. I'm hyped. It's a week. It happened a week ago, but I'm still hyped.
Well, you just you got to touch the lightsabers and play with them a little bit. That's enough to
My
get
lips
you a little
are tingling.
excited. Yes, vibrating.
All right, thanks everybody. We appreciate you listening. Hope you enjoyed this trip down Star Wars memory lane. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com.